Anyway, my last story is in the Telegraph as well, and it's teachers are not allowed to frisk pupils for porn. Apparently, they've been looking through pupils' bags for hardcore pornography has become a problem in schools, and they can search them for for bad food or for guns or drugs, but they can't search for porn because the government has decided that there's not enough of a threat of hardcore porn in our schools. What is hardcore porn for teenagers, though? I don't know.
Well, I was just thinking back to when I was at school, which was quite a long time ago, and there was quite a lot of hardcore porn floating around then. So
it was called sex education, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's about the only sex education we got.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. Yes. Worked a treat, I thought.
I think they're even nervous. They're even nervous about soft porn, like photos of kids are flashing each other on their cell phones. They're even nervous about that. Like just a bit of boobies is apparently wrong and stuff too. But it's impossible to monitor. I just think. Children men reach their sexual peak at 19 anyway. Why take that away from them? It's the last thing men have.
Thank you, Scott.
You're welcome.
OK, what have you got for us?
Can you notice we've distanced ourselves from that?
I also noticed during the break there was a lot of facial touching going on.
From your play, sexual peak with women goes on and on.
Yeah, don't try and get back in with me.
Clitoris lasts forever.
Leave her alone.
All right.
Leave her alone.
You know about clitorises. Or clitori, they're probably called.
I've never seen one.
OK. Now, it is daytime.
And no one's going to show you one on this show.
A gay man did once ask me to sleep with him, and his boyfriend, as an experiment. Unsurprisingly, I wasn't that keen on the idea.
But did you say yes anyway?
No!
Be a lot of work for you, too, right?
Scott, leave them alone.
No, your neck would hurt. I'm the guest. Why am I working so hard? I know.
Hey, Scott.
Right, all right. Daily Mail today. Now, the headline is, a break and a struggle, then a teenage burglar lay dying.
Not a funny story, this. This is interesting.
Which probably suggests how complicated this story is. So I can't tell much about the details because it's yet to come out. But basically, this young man, 17 years of age, is now dead as a result of an alleged bungled break-in in a house in an area in Nottingham. They're not saying much. There's a middle-aged couple who own
foster
the house.
Carers.
They think, pardon?
Foster carers. That's a family.
Foster carers, but we're not saying it's this boy's foster carers.
No.
I think we're just going to have to see how this comes out, whether or not
what is interesting is that someone has been tried or is being questioned on suspicion of murder.
Yes.
And in my mind, even though there's a lot more to come out of it, here we have this bizarre question where somebody may well have broken into someone's house illegally, has ended up dead, and all of a sudden someone who may have been acting in the best interests of the people in the house is finding themselves questioned on suspicion of murder. And I can appreciate the police have a difficult job to do. We have to there's going to be a certain element of wait and see.
I think we just don't know
but it's interesting
enough about this. But just a little thing down at the bottom, there is one of these pages, on the internet, a Facebook page, the boy's mother, who's 34, saying, "I want my baby back, my beautiful son," about the boy who was murdered, who was breaking into the house. It's kind of poignant, but...
The boy who was killed.
Indeed, yes. The boy who is now dead. So we will wait and see. Right, it's the Fritzl trial, which starts today. Joseph Fritzl, of course, we know, the Austrian man who...
It's not going to go on for very long, they reckon, is it? It's only a few days.
It's only going to be like 5 days, finished by the end of the week. This story in The Sun here is really about the wife who says that her life, understandably, has been completely trashed. She's now living...
She knew nothing about it.
Oh, what?
Well...
Scott, careful, there are
laws.
Yes, no, let's leave it there.
Austrians say they never knew, but I don't know.
Scott,
well, and what the wife,
Rosemary,
is saying that many people doubt the fact that she knew nothing about it, and that she is now... Yes, OK. She is now the subject of... some fairly unpleasant stuff, and and she's not earning much money, etc.
He's pleading guilty to just about everything bar murder, isn't he? I think.
Yeah. Quickly, what's really interesting at the bottom. Now, this is The Sun, and I've heard different things, but saying that he could be out in 6.5 years.
Because all the other offences that he's going to plead guilty to carry very low sentences.
Wow.
Yeah. He's got a big family to look after, really.
OK, thank you,
Scott.
A lot of kids running. Grandkids.
OK, press on, please.
OK, Sarah's victory, Sarah's Law, Sarah Payne, we remember the 8-year-old who was murdered in 2000 by a convicted paedophile. Her mother, Sarah Payne, has campaigned relentlessly for Sarah's Law, which would allow parents and other people some access to information about paedophiles and sex offenders in the local area. This has been trialled in various pilot areas throughout, I think, really the south of England, and now the government, Jackie Smith, your favourite girl.
Should we say that some critics say that it is going to drive some paedophiles underground? I mean, that is the main thrust of the criticism.
The other concern at the time was that there would be vigilante groups. In fact, since these pilot schemes have started, since September, there have been 150 inquiries, which sounds fairly measured.
Yeah.
They feel that 10 kids have been kept safe, away from situations that otherwise would be dangerous, and there have been no vigilante attacks. So hopefully,
you know, I was
sceptical.
Yeah, that's a friend of mine who moved into the neighborhood, Julie.
Isn't it?
Yeah, she did it. And it's interesting, it's impossible to monitor, though. These pedophiles tend to move. They don't leave their addresses.
That's the concern, is that you'll actually force people certain paedophiles would disappear. Anyway,
to be fair, it sounds as if... Now, this is a shock. Kerry Katona, over the weekend, we were reading that she had broken up from this husband, Mark Croft, who had absolutely bankrupted her, who'd spent all her money, etc. She's gone back to him, according to the Daily Mirror. And they were apparently spotted laughing
gives her an
and
opportunity
joking.
to sell another story about our emotional reunion.
Well, exactly.
How I've forgiven Mark for spending all my money.
There's two things here. They were laughing and joking in their local Tesco supermarket. Oops. What were they doing in the Tesco supermarket when she advertises for somebody else? And who are they laughing at? Are they laughing at the people who buy these magazines? Because, you know, 2-3 days ago, she's made a fortune out of some story that they split up and he's ruined her life.
I don't actually care either.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, you know,
not at all.
Sure, but people are spending their money on all these magazines and buying into these stories, you know, and it...
I think she has the same kind of car crash emotional appeal as Jade, and I think for a lot of people, women, we are interested in her, and we are interested in how she can, because we did love her and what has happened to her, kind of thing, and we hope for the best for her, which doesn't appear to be with this awful husband.
We're down to the last couple of minutes on the papers, Larry, so...
And let's start with Gordon Brown. There was a plan announced over the weekend. Sir Liam Donaldson, health advisor, did a report for the government saying that to combat binge drinking, that there should be a minimum price for drinks, and this would have made a bottle of wine £4.50
because
and
we discussed a couple of weeks ago, and the word, there was a university report which suggested 40p would be a good price. He's looking at 50p a unit.
Well, it would have made a can of beer would be £1 minimum, and a bottle of wine £4.50. Very strong dinars coming out from Number 10 very quickly now.
Well, actually, I've actually heard the phrase which we hear a lot on this show, which is you're punishing the majority for the sins of a few, and that's now starting to sound like a bit of a Labour mantra as well. We shall see.
Yes. Well, moving on to air travel.
I wonder how they square that with ID cards. Everybody has to buy one for the sins of a few.
Or the fact we're all picking up the bill for a few hedge fund managers running amok.
Ah, nicely said.
Millions shun air travel in the crunch, says today's Daily Mail. Apparently, flights are down, particularly at Stansted, 6% down. We're no longer taking not-so-cheap flights because number one, they're not so cheap. Number two, we have less money. And number three, of course, the fall of the pound.
Heathrow's a morgue. I've been there a lot this last few weeks. It's a morgue, Heathrow.
It is. I've really noticed how quiet
and they've just redone it at Terminal 1. It's beautiful, but no one's enjoying the beauty of it. So.
And moving very quick, house prices rise for second month, but don't get excited. This is people selling their houses on a particular property website are advertising it at higher prices. Doesn't mean they're selling them at higher prices. Moving to mothers worth £33,000 a year. A new survey says that the work that a woman does around the house is worth 33 grand a year. One thing I think is interesting about this...
What a bloke's worth.
Well, it's considerably less.
Oh, what a surprise.
No, but this is outrageous, because it says here that women only do 40% more work around the house than men. I don't think it's only 40% more.
Well,
it's more like 140% more. I mean, what exactly... I've never had a husband who even cleaned her off the bath, so, you know.
My cleaning gal shows up, cleans the whole place in tiny shorts. I'm like, you're here to clean, right? She says, yes. Cleans the whole place, 20 pounds. It's great.
Yeah.
I love
But the shorts are obviously wasted on you, aren't they? Totally wasted. Perhaps she was hoping for a tip, and she did, and she got really unlucky.
I'll show my tip to anybody.
EU bans sexist use of Ms and Mrs. This is a story from today's Telegraph. MEPs, when they're in the European Parliament, are not allowed to refer to each other as Miss, Mrs, Signora, Signorina, Madame, Mademoiselle, because it's sexist. I have to say, whenever I see those forms online, for example, it says Miss, Mrs. Why should they have to know whether I'm married or not? That irritates me. We should just have Ms and Mr.
But that goes back to Scott's point. You never know who anyone is these days, do you?
Yeah. Why do we have to have either, Miss or Mr? Why can you just have the name?
Good point. Very good.
Right.
Why don't we just all cut off our things and walk around like Barbie dolls? What are you talking about? Because it's interesting to know. Don't you want to know things about people?
Do you know what? You know the thing about you getting old at 27? I feel like I'm visibly ageing as this show's going on. I can literally feel my life force leaving me. Anyway, After the break, we're going to be asking if teachers are right or wrong to look into pupils' lunchboxes. Staff at a London primary school are apparently going through lunchboxes, taking out anything they think is junk and confiscating it till the end of the day. Junk food, not junk. The school says it's promoting healthy eating. Some parents have accused teachers of acting like the Gestapo. What do you think? 0207 173 5555 is the number for your thoughts. Are teachers right or wrong to look into lunchboxes? Should parents, this is my view, should parents be supporting the move, not criticising it? Your shout after the ads.
What's the most popular item in kids' lunchboxes? Is it a white bread sandwich, crisps or chocolate? Answers up after the break.